Good morning, class 6. We will continue with the chapter Hazards of Waste Accumulation. In the previous class, we have talked about the hazards of waste on land, the hazards of domestic and municipal waste, that is, which can cause diarrhea, dysentery, etc. Then we have talked about the hazards of mining, of which leads to land disruption, and the coal dust which people are inhaling can lead to diseases called black lungs. Then we have talked about the hazards of transport, which generates a lot of smoke, and we have talked about this smog. Hazards of industrial waste. The rivers are becoming toxic because of the industrial waste which has been, like, now, although government has started taking efforts, and the pouring in of the waste into the rivers have been stopped, but still we have to you can say face till the time the problems till the time the rivers have been cleaned. Hazards of agriculture, hazards of nuclear waste. You all must be aware of the fact that when the nuclear bomb was tested, until date, here in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the children are born with little deformities. So, how bad the repercussion can be, we can understand. Today, we will begin with noise pollution. Although noise is not a waste, yet it requires attention of the students of environment. Vehicular traffic is increasing in the cities day by day. Their movement causes a lot of noise. It causes disturbance to the students studying in schools and patients in hospitals who need peaceful atmosphere. Pressure horns are of great concern here. Loudspeakers are other means of noise pollution. So, if the noise which is caused by the you can say off and on, you must have seen that loudspeakers have been arranged, that is releasing the noise, increasing the noise pollution. And if study, especially if you are preparing for your exams and nearby there is some ceremony where loudspeakers are there, you find it very irritating because you cannot concentrate on your studies because of that. Loudness levels are measured in songs and phones. Hazards of waste in water. We already know that 71% of the earth's surface is covered with water. Man makes a lot of use from water. Many types of waste are dumped in the water bodies which cause a number of hazards. First is threat to marine life. At many places, the industrial and municipal waste is released into ocean. It carries many toxic elements which can kill the marine life. Petroleum is also drilled offshore. It sometimes leads to oil spill which can destroy the fish and other sea animals. You must have seen or heard in the news that sometimes it happens that the oil, while trying to take out the petroleum, drilling process is being done, and the oil spill takes place, and for many days these marine animals are found dead on the shores of the sea. So obviously these things cause lot of threat to the marine life. And sometimes, as we have talked about the river water, same ways the industrial waste or the municipal waste is even released in the into the oceans. Threat to river water. At many places, the sewage of the cities is drained into the river. It spoils the river water. It cannot be used for drinking purposes. Many industries also drain out their waste into the river. This waste contains many toxic elements which, on mixing with water, can destroy the biotic life of that region. So, as it is causing the problem, we have talked about the industrial waste. Same ways, the sewage of the cities are also drained into the rivers, and which spoils the river water. The river water is channeled into canals. This water is used as a means of irrigation. This way, toxic elements can reach fields, and crops grown there can absorb these elements. After all, it is the man who will suffer by consuming those crops. It can lead to many types of diseases. Many cities get their drinking water from rivers or canals. Such water is unfit for drinking purposes. And if you visit these riverside areas, sometimes because of this waste, the place starts stinking. You just cannot breathe. You feel that it is very suffocating. So obviously it is unfit for drinking. Threat to underground water. Various types of chemicals are released as waste by the factories and agriculture practices. Many of these chemicals are soluble in water. The water slowly seeps down to join underground water. The underground water is a major source of drinking water. Again, it is the man who suffers by consuming such water. So we are only causing these things, and we at the end of the day we are going to suffer because of all this. So it's high time we should take efforts, otherwise it would be very difficult. Hazards of waste in air. Place of air is vital in the environment. Any change in air disturbs the whole atmosphere. It can affect the clouds, wind, rainfall, snowfall, etc. All these things are required at land as well as in water by all the living organisms. Air too cannot escape from the various types of waste generated by man. Hazards of smoke. Smoke is a cause of concern to all the living organisms, especially man. All of us need fresh air to breathe so that we can remain healthy to lead a comfortable life. But the fresh air is being polluted by smoke. It is generated by factories and vehicular traffic. Various types of fuels are used which generate various types of gaseous waste in air. They keep on floating in air. We breathe in these waste. It causes many types of diseases. So smoke, which is it comes out when the fuel wood is burned, and all of us, we know that we need fresh air to breathe, and it is very important for us for our survival. But then it is something which has become very rare. You cannot get the fresh air because the air has been polluted by the smoke which comes out from the factories, from the vehicular traffic, and from the fuels, as I have told you, by burning the fuel wood, etc. Hazards of acid rain. Acid rain is a type of air pollution. It occurs when oxides of sulfur and nitrogen combine with the moisture of atmosphere. It leads to the formation of sulfuric and nitric acids. This acid is brought down by the rainfall. When it reaches earth, it can cause damage like reducing soil. So, fertility, destroying the plant life, spoiling freshwater lakes and its biotic life, etc. These acids are also brought down by the snow or maybe the fog. Hazards of CFCs. CFC, which means chlorofluorocarbon. They are chemicals used in refrigeration and spray cans. They are very light and can reach the second layer of atmosphere, that is stratosphere. This layer contains the life-saving ozone gas which absorbs the harmful ultraviolet rays. CFC contains the atoms of chlorine. Now, how can we say that CFC is harmful? Because it contains the atom of chlorine, and when this CFC reach the ozone layer, the ultraviolet rays that breaks this CFC into breaks it apart, and chlorine is released. Now what this chlorine does is it reacts with the ozone and converts it into simple oxygen which cannot absorb ultraviolet rays. So therefore it cannot protect us. So CFC contains the atom of chlorine. When CFCs reach ozone layer, the UV, that is ultraviolet rays, breaks apart the CFC, thus releasing the chlorine atom. The chlorine atom reacts with ozone and converts it into simple oxygen which cannot absorb ultraviolet rays. A single atom of chlorine can destroy 100,000 molecules of ozone. This is how ozone gas is being depleted. So now you must have understood that how the ozone gas is being depleted. Now, and what is the repercussion? Now the use of CFC is being banned in some countries. Substitutes of CFC are being looked for. CFC is a greenhouse gas also. So, how dangerous it is? It is released from refrigeration, from the spray cans, that is like maybe the deodorants and all. So, you can see how dangerous it is. Hazards of smog. Smog is a type of air pollution. It reduces the visibility in the cities where a lot of pollution is caused by vehicular traffic. Smog is a type of fog and is formed when cold and air is trapped below the warm air. Therefore, the pollution cannot escape until the wind starts blowing. It is formed during winters only. It causes irritation in eyes. This is something which usually happens post Diwali, and if you remember, the schools are shut down after Diwali because of smog in Delhi, because it causes a lot of irritation in the eyes and the visibility is also disturbed, and it takes place, it appears as if the fog is there, but then that irritation which takes place in the eyes, that makes us realize that it is because of the smog. What happens is the cold polluted air is trapped, it is it is trapped in between below the warm air. So the warm air forms a trapping, a covering over this cold polluted air, and it is not allowed to move out, and therefore something like fog appears. Now, points to remember. Domestic and municipal waste causes disease like dysentery, diarrhea, malaria, plague, etc. Vehicular traffic generate waste in the form of poisonous gas like carbon monoxide. Insecticides and pesticides are capable of affecting the water adversely. The waste generated by nuclear energy remains radioactive for thousands of years. Oil spill in the ocean can destroy the fish and other sea animals. Many industries drain out their waste into the rivers. Acid rain is a type of air pollution. CFC deplete the ozone gas. So that is all for today, class. Take care of yourselves. Be safe at home. Question answers I will be sending you in the next class. Thank you.